Well, 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 how the turntables turn. Cringe office joke, I know. But I felt the obligation to update you guys on my previous video because, well, some things have actually happened since my rant. Now, as much as I want to take credit for the things that have transpired, I absolutely had nothing to do with it. But almost 12 hours since I went on that Twitter rant, and then ended up making my previous video. If you're not following the situation, go watch my previous video. But I will summarize briefly. Basically, I talked about how it's gotten to a point on Hypixel where between the bugs that are present in every game mode, some being pretty much game breaking at points, and the pure chaos of cheaters running rampant without any sort of obstruction or really even risk of getting caught, Hypixel has become very unenjoyable at times in certain game modes. And in addition, Skyblock has taken away all of the focus from every single other game on the server, and they've only really cared about Skyblock for ever since it came out, basically. Ever since it blew Hypixel up to heights that it's never got to before. Anyways, 12 hours after I went on the rant, Simon, or Hypixel himself, tweeted a very interesting 2 tweets that I'm going to read word for word to you, which basically in these 2 tweets encapsulated my entire point. These 2 tweets are so close to what I said in this video. It's almost as if he watched the video, but I know he didn't because my video is set to go live at 12:30 CST, and he tweeted these at 11:30, 1 hour previous. But I don't care. This is big news, and I'm going to read it right now. The first tweet being this: I'll be opening a lot of job positions early 2020 for the Hypixel MC server to support more updates, anti-cheat improvements, new features, and much more. I mean, the server went from 25k peak to 90k, and we didn't grow the team. It's been quite challenging. Just in the first tweet, he touched on all of my different points that I made. I complained about game modes not getting updates, having bugs, and there being hackers everywhere. He touched on all of that. I mentioned that it's the biggest server and that they should have the staff in order to combat, or at least attempt to start to combat and improve a lot of these areas, right? And he said, guess what? We haven't grown the staff team, but now we're going to. Now the second tweet is as follows. It gets even closer to what I was saying. In the short term, we'll be posting a few critical rules, especially in the anti-cheat and legal department, as we are seeing more and more hack clients are becoming growing businesses that focus entirely, well, he said entirely, but I think never mind, entirely on our server. This is exactly what I said. They clearly realized that they need a dedicated team to combat this huge epidemic. There are entire hack clients that clearly are designed around Hypixel. From what I can tell from just playing, and I don't know anything about hack clients or the culture or the community, but from what I've seen, I believe from what hackers have shouted out after they kill each player, that's probably a new client that a lot of people are using on Hypixel, and I believe that's the one that basically has no limitations. They can fly across any map in Skywars specifically. That's where I've encountered it, but I'm sure it also works in UHC. But Watchdog doesn't stop them at all. They can go at whatever speed they would like to. They can b-hop. They have crazy range on their hits. They can fly across the map, like I said. From what I've seen, that's kind of the new one that's just destroying Skywars currently. On top of the fact that they can enter in custom messages that they type out when they're killing people, and some of the ones that I've seen have been wildly inappropriate. Honestly, mainly they're just harmless jokes, usually just like, oh, I'm way too good for you, maybe try downloading this client, stuff like that, which is kind of funny in a way, I guess. Being the biggest server, they're going to get targeted by these hack client companies, I'm assuming, that are just capitalizing on the lack of enforcement of Hypixel. So yeah, I'm sure that these companies that are focusing their entire effort on Hypixel are doing very well. There's so many players that are playing on the server that clearly a percentage of those people are going to end up downloading and buying these hack clients that work very well. So I guess in conclusion, I think I won the lottery. Well, we won the lottery, not just me. Everyone's going to benefit from this. And again, I don't think my video really did anything because it was published after he already said this stuff, but I just find it funny that they finally came to the exact realization that me and a bunch of other people that have already talked about for years at this point. It's a very relieving feeling knowing that maybe there is someone out there listening and actually wanting to improve the mistakes they have made thus far. It's exciting for all the players that play consistently on this server. Depending on how hard they go in the near future, we could have a drastically reduced hacker presence, meaning that the game's integrity would be so much higher than it currently is, and people wouldn't have that paranoia in the back of their head or that feeling that every single time that they're about to get into a PvP engagement, that person could be likely cheating. I missed out on kind of elaborating on this thought exactly in my previous video, but it's the thought that in the near future, we could potentially put to rest that internal question you always have to ask yourself playing on the server: was that person playing legitimately? Again, I play so many other games, and that is not even something I have to think about in any other game I play. My head never has to go to that place where you're like, he's not better than me, he didn't outplay me, he's just cheating. Once you remove that thought, it becomes so much more of a healthy experience to play. It helps the entire hackuzation situation where you don't know if people are just outplaying you or quote unquote better than you, or if they're just hacking. It removes that. If you can get to a point where the percentage chance that someone is cheating is so low, or at least way lower than it currently is, that you just can assume they're not cheating and that you just were outplayed, which has not been the case in a very long time. Minecraft as a whole is just one of those games that was never designed, obviously, to be a PvP related game. So it's not perfect in the sense that things can look really weird when you're in these PvP fights. Hits can look weird, head movements can look weird, there's lag involved almost all the time. So it's very easy currently, when you know that there's so many cheaters on the server, to assume that the stuff you just saw in front of you was due to the fact that they're cheating, not due to these other factors. But if they go ahead and beef up the security and hack client prevention, that thought can be shifted back to the game might not be perfect, I might have played that wrong, and so on. So yes, I am very excited. I hope so much, please, Simon, that these aren't more promises that take another 2 years to ever go into effect. I hope the quote-unquote short term is an actual short amount of time that we can expect in the next, I don't know, 4 months, 3 months, to actually have some positive affirmation that things could be improving. I'm optimistic. I always have been optimistic, but that doesn't stop me from pointing out inherently flawed problems with whatever I'm talking about or experiencing. Just thought I'd update you guys. It was wonderful timing on that post, and hopefully you guys are excited too. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.